Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. I'm Vinny Caravella here to welcome you on this here episode. What do we got here? This is the 303? Is this 303? I think this might be 303.
You might be right.
It is
Something like that.
Thursday, March 11th, Friday, March 12th. Missed that March 13th, Friday, March 13th by one day. Whoa, dodged that one. I'm joined by Alex Navarro.
Hello. Oh, you wanted me to keep going? 'cause
Sorry,
you're taking a
I
sip.
was taking a sip of my tea. I'm joined by Jeff Bacalar.
Hello there. I will stretch this intro out as long as you possibly need to enjoy a tasty beverage from your Grover mug.
Thank you. Oh, so good. It's so tasty and delicious.
You got some almond milk chocolate.
A little vanilla almond milk in my tea. I was shocked when I put it in and realized I had been missing out. Look at this. I get a little boost because I don't put too much sweetener in it. I was like, this is so delicious.
What do you put in there for sweetener there, Vinny?
Well, I put a little bit of sugar. Put a little sugar.
Oh,
Yeah.
even after the pre-show, you're still on sugar, I see.
I put a little bit. Hey, I might be counting some calories. But I'm
No
living,
calories in sugar?
But I'm living life.
Any calories in sugar?
No, 0 calories. 0 calorie sugar. Just straight sweet. I don't know. You don't need sugar. You're sweet enough, Alex Navarro.
Whoa, we
thank
just watched
you.
Snatch.
Is that in Snatch?
Vinny.
That's what my grandmother used to say that.
Well, then your grandmother was a huge fan of the 2000.
I want you to say, go
the
ahead.
2000
I'm listening. I want you
Is
to
your grandmother Guy Ritchie?
I want you
Is
to
your
say my
grandmother Guy
grandmother
Ritchie?
and Snatch in the same sentence. Go ahead.
Is your-
Go ahead. I'm
your
waiting.
grandmother is a fan of the Guy Ritchie Wild Goose Chase fiasco.
We will
epic
rock.
Crime
We will
caper.
rock you. Yes, she loved
Snatch.
We Will Rock You. Huge
Your
fan.
grandmother and the movie Snatch. They're two things that coexist in the year 2000.
Guy Ritchie was We Will Rock You, right? Didn't he do that? Or,
Wait, the Queen biopic?
No, the one with the knights. Where the what was that?
No,
Oh,
A
A Knight's Tale. No, that's not Guy Ritchie.
Don't put that on Guy Ritchie.
That's not
No,
Guy Ritchie.
that's not
Okay.
Guy
He did
Ritchie.
the Sherlock Holmes things that.
Yes, he did
Oh,
those dumb
that's what I'm
Sherlock
thinking of.
movies.
Wait, A Knight's Tale was the
and
one.
he did Aladdin. The new
Okay.
Aladdin movie. With genie crimes. but also,
Yeah.
didn't he do a new sort of spiritual successor to his like fiasco crime caper dumb criminals thing with
Yes,
I think people liked it. Didn't they like it?
Maybe. I have
Yeah.
not watched one of his movies in a very long time, so I don't know.
I just watched Snatch again and
I've never
'cause
seen
my
it.
wife. Oh, well then. But my wife had never seen it and it was on a channel. I was like, I have this. Let's just watch this. And she really liked it. And I forgot that movie. I think that movie's still good. I think that movie's all right.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about
What
that.
other movies
Okay.
has Guy Ritchie made?
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that was
yeah,
his,
yeah.
I believe. That was the
Yeah.
movie
That
that
was
got
kind of
him
the
onto
one
the
that-
scene.
Yeah.
That vaulted
Okay.
him into superstardom.
Yeah.
Sting is in that movie.
Yes,
Um,
briefly.
And he likes to reuse a lot of the same actors.
Okay. So Sting just making
And-
a lot of appearances.
Oh no, that was the only time I think he used
That was like-
Sting.
I don't remember. Was that the introduction of Statham to the world, or was
That's a fair guess. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Wait a minute. You've definitely done the Brad Pitt accent to me before from Snatch.
the
Me?
pikey accent?
Me
Oh,
or
you like dogs? You like dogs? No?
Oh, wait,
Am I
who are you
thinking-
saying this to?
To Vinny?
You like dogs? I don't
Oh
know.
shit. Who
No.
am I thinking of? Maybe it was you, Alex. You've done it.
I
Say
probably
it,
at some point
Alex.
in
We
my
need
life.
to know. Say it.
Dogs.
Dags. Oh,
Dogs.
dogs. Yeah,
Hey,
like
dogs.
dags.
Hey, dogs.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
go watch Snatch.
The
That
Mighty
movie's all right.
Dogs. You're listening to Giant Beastcast, where we get everything correct 100% of the time for
Always.
you, always. Speaking of not getting things 100% correct, I played some Harvest Moon One World.
I
That
watched you play some.
that is a game that ain't correct. Don't play that game.
Oh.
That is not the Harvest Moon you're looking for. And in case you missed my pedantic intro to the quick look, I will say it is a Harvest Moon that was, it is the counterfeit Harvest Moon, even though Natsume owns the name Harvest Moon. Marvelous are the people who made the actual Harvest Moon games. They were called Story of Seasons. I want to always say Song of Seasons. Story of Seasons. That's what they were called in Japan. They came to the United States. They were called Harvest Moon here when Natsume brought them over. Marvelous then went with Xseed to bring their stuff over. Those games are now called Story of Seasons in the United States. Natsume said, well, we still own this name Harvest Moon. Let's make Harvest Moon games that are not good. And that appears to be what they're doing. So I played a bunch of that. I put in probably about a dozen hours. I will not be playing anymore. Some folks were like,
dozen is a lot.
They said,
why are you really like?
They said, why are you putting in so many hours? And I feel
what's wrong with
I
you,
feel
dude?
like, okay, well, I got a couple of reasons. One, the Harvest Moon is kind of a storied franchise, right? It's a beloved franchise traditionally. And I knew the next Story of Seasons games was coming out later this month, and I figured I'm gonna put some time in and see where these franchises are at. I'm gonna try and do some due diligence here. Two, a window of time suddenly opened up in my mornings where the kids are on a much better routine, and they're on a much more self-sufficient routine that I can now play some games as long as they are kind of kid-friendly while the kids are in school because they're gonna drop down during break. So Harvest Moon, though it is offensive maybe to my eyes, is not offensive to them, and they can kind of sit and watch while they're on break and stuff. So I was able to kind of squeeze some hours in over the course of a week there. And third, if I'm gonna say things like don't buy this game, I want to be pretty sure it's bad. You know?
Yeah, that's a reason. That's a good reason to keep playing a shitty game.
Yeah, but let me just be clear. Let me be
sure.
clear about something here, because I sat in on the quick look you did, and admittedly, my perception was somewhat colored by your previous discussions of this, but I was able to tell this was not great within about let's say 20 to 30 minutes.
But maybe it got better, right?
It could.
It's like maybe it's one of hey, I've played a lot of build the thing games, right? And sometimes they have very slow starts, and sometimes they don't. I have not played the farming genre since probably dabbling in Stardew Valley, which is a very good game. But I didn't play a ton of it. So I wanted to know, hey, is this how these go, or is this a bad game? Or if this is how these go, this is not for me. Turns out, I think this Harvest Moon One World game is not good. You can watch a quick look of that. Let's see where things go. You know, there's other games in this series, Rune Factory, Story of Seasons, or not this series, this genre, and I'm curious to see where that goes. So I put that down. If you want to find out all the reasons why I think this is not a good game, you can go watch that quick look. It's about a half hour, 45 minutes long. Goes into depth there. I don't want to relive it. I don't want to relive it here on the podcast. It's not a fun experience. And then I finished up Maquette.
How long did that take you to do, by the way? I'm looking to blast through that.
So I think it took me about 4 to 5 hours, but my playtime was about 7 hours. Again, if I'm squeezing stuff in while the kids are in school, I have to get up and leave it stuff running for a while. So I'm gonna say actual playtime was probably about 4 to 5 hours, with probably 2 hours of hey, I'll be right up. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I wasn't asking for those parts of your time, but sure. Yeah.
Well, if I say 4 to 5 hours and then somebody looks at my Steam page and it says hey, it says 7 hours here, you liar. And it's hey, I want you to know.
Yeah, because the Steam counter is always accurate. Everyone knows
100%. So Maquette is a narrative-based puzzle game in the vein of something like, the puzzles are there's a game called The Fisherman's Tale. There was a VR game for the PlayStation VR, and I think the puzzles most closely resemble a lot of that. It is taking a big or small thing, putting it inside a representation of the outside world that is bigger or smaller, and then the thing actually shrinks. Right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
In the representation of that thing shrinks. Gosh, I wrote this down when I did the quick look because I always forget the name, and now I don't have my notes in front of me. What is the other one that Superliminal? Is that the
Superliminal?
Yeah, Superliminal.
Does a lot of that stuff.
And
too.
last week I was trying to place my finger on a game that I felt might be similar, and that game was called Antichamber.
Sure. Oh yeah, Antichamber. I feel like so. All right. So compared to Antichamber is a much more off the walls, just outside the box. This is a little more
kooky,
this is a little more straightforward. I think the puzzles are clever. I think there's a bit towards the end. I should mention this game is $20, I believe, on Steam. I think it's free on PS Plus if you have a PlayStation 5.
Oh, really?
I think so, but I think, if you have a PS4, and PS Plus, you can reserve it, but I think it's playable on the PS5. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
you can be like,
interesting.
hey, I want to add this to my library, but the PS5 version, I think, is the thing that is actually you can download and play.
I'm gonna knock that out right after Little Nightmares. Yes.
That'll probably be my weekend.
So I'm sorry if that's incorrect as of the time of this. I think that's right. I played it on the PC. Story-based puzzle game. It's the kind of mechanics center around this miniature model that represents the outside world, and you interacting with objects from the outside world and putting them into the miniature model. I think there's a section towards the back third that really hits a stride that I really thought the puzzles were hitting the metaphors in the story they're going for. Like, you know, like they're really clicking in a way that's like, oh yes, I'm solving this puzzle because it's a metaphor for what's happening in the story. I get it. This makes sense. I did have to look up a couple. I think it does lose the thread on some of the puzzles in a way that's like, ooh, I didn't want to do all that legwork on that one. There's a lot of backtracking on some stuff. But overall, it's enjoyable. It's pretty short. And the voice acting, I think, is actually very, very good. It's cool. Bryce Dallas Howard with her husband, Seth
Rogen.
No. Can you look up Bryce Dallas Howard's husband?
Sure can. Really? Okay. Ron Howard's daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Seth Gable,
who's also an actor. And they just have a very natural rapport in the voice work in this kind of romantic love story. I think your mileage may vary comes from, hey, do you think this love story here is going to make you vomit today, or is this charming today? And I kind of went back and forth over the 2 or 3 sessions I played it in of like, to, this is beautiful. I want to, being in love is beautiful, to like, get over yourselves. Just go away. Get a room, you two. So yeah, I think they've
probably been in a room for about a year now and probably actually like to get out of that room.
Does anyone know how this came to together? Like
as in,
it's an Annapurna joint.
I was getting towards, because Annapurna dabbles in a lot of film, obviously. So I wonder if there's like,
I would say that's maybe actually their primary business.
Yeah, right. So I wonder, is that how like things go around? I don't know if anyone's told this story, but I'm always curious to hear how these things come together.
Well, when they release the version with the commentary track in a year, then maybe they'll talk about that.
The other thing you could do is just look up this game because it has Bryce Dallas Howard and Seth Gable in it. Every like TV and movie site picked it up, so I'm sure you can find out
So that was the thing, because I feel like I didn't know that. I feel like I would have heard that by now, which I guess I'm equally as surprised by.
I didn't know until I saw so when I was playing, I was like, wow, these voice actors are great. Like they're really doing a great job. This is for what can be too saccharine and make me want to put my fist to the TV. This is actually working for me for the most part. And then I was waiting for the credits to see who did the voice work, and I was like, no kidding. And I looked it up, and of course, it's like every press release that was released from this thing picked up by a TV or movie coverage site of like, hey, look at this game, and this is this thing. So yeah, it's I think it's a good game. I don't know if I'd call it great, but I think it was worth my $20. Though I think I was sent a code.
Okay.
So which is it?
I think it would have been worth it.
You would pay $20 for this.
I paid $50 for Harvest Moon and bought the fucking DLC for it. I deserve something. I'm
not sure that's how that works. But
I deserve more.
But I also don't blame you either. So
I also think you believe that you deserve good things.
I deserve good things. So that's Maquette. That's the name of that game. Maquette. Also, Maquette's not every time I typed Maquette and all the coverage stuff we were doing in Slack and all this stuff, is it not a real word? I really thought it was.
I don't think so.
Is it just like a French?
What?
Is it really?
Plenty of things aren't real word. Beastcast isn't a real word. What are we doing?
But like I feel like it must be like a French word or something, but that has not been adopted into the.
I mean, it could just be the name of a place. It doesn't have to be.
I thought it's a miniature thing. Like, hey, this is a maquette. It's a miniature version of this thing.
I think you're just inventing that.
I've literally never heard that term before outside of this. So.
Oh wow.
Okay. It does sound like a real word.
Sounds like it should be a word.
Yeah, it seems like it has French origin, French etymology.
Maquette.
But also, who cares?
Well, I did every time I typed it in and be like, oh, there's a typo. And I'm like, no, okay, we're just not we're just not in the old OED here. All right. So then I downloaded Desperados 3. It was on it's on the Game Pass, and I was like, I've heard a lot of good stuff about this game. I'm gonna go give it a shot. Bumped into it, was like, this seems like this could be a lot of fun. Closed it after about 2 minutes and played Stardew Valley because I wanted to have a palate cleanser from Harvest Moon and say, I need to remember what Stardew Valley was like.
Wait, sorry to go back real quick.
Yeah.
Vinny,
Yeah.
you did a whole bit on the word Maquette.
Yeah.
You fucking look it up, dude.
No.
It's a word.
It's not in the dictionaries.
Once again, the worst searcher is here to tell us.
What did you use, Bing?
What did you
I don't understand. The first thing that comes up, it's a French word for scale model.
Yeah, but it's not, like I said, it's just not in the spelling correctors or whatever.
Oh, you want spell check to affirm your word for you. Otherwise, you don't believe it exists.
That's every time I typed it, and it's like the red line underneath, and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I messed that one up.
Those red lines don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, not at all.
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that.
So yeah.
Never trust a spell check.
Also,
Never.
like being colorblind with the red line, sometimes I feel like I miss a little bit more.
Is that what this is? Is that what this is?
Use that as an excuse.
Well, you still see the line.
Also, Outlook, relax. I'm going to use things like probably, mostly, kind of. When I write an email, you don't have to tell me every freaking time to be like, qualifiers usually undermine the intent of your thing. Be like, maybe you should fuck off.
You know what? You could definitely turn that off, number one. But number two, I don't know how to turn it off, and I'm not really interested. Outlook does everything save for calling me a dumb piece of shit.
He really is.
I'm composing these emails, and Outlook's like, Jeff, maybe you don't say the word much because you use it a lot, and it makes you sound fucking stupid.
Yeah. How about I just write this email for you?
Don't talk to me like that, Outlook. I didn't ask for you.
Yeah,
Outlook is very judgy in a way that Gmail is not.
What the fuck?
No,
Outlook?
Gmail doesn't have a conversation with Gmail's just reading all your stuff, being like, what else are you gonna say? Outlook is there to be like, okay, so I looked over this and here's some notes. Here's some notes for your email. Who's this going to? Oof, oh boy. All right, let's sit down. You got 5 minutes? Let's sit down. Let's go over this one.
It might as well say, see me after class. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. I sent some notes back on your email. Well, first of all, good luck with that promotion. Second of all,
you know what, Jeff? I'm going to do you a favor and not send this.
I'm just going to redirect this to your trash.
Okay.
Let
me do you a favor.
We both don't need to be embarrassed by this email, okay?
I looked up your 3rd grade English teacher.
So what was I talking about? Oh, Stardew Valley. Hell of a game.
Yeah.
Hell of a game. Continue. I bought it on the Switch. I only had it on the PC. Bought it on the Switch. Figured I'd introduce the kids to some Stardew Valley. There's co-op. They patched that in at some point. I'll probably play some of that this weekend with the children. And I finally finished Ori: Will of the Wisps.
How did you find it?
Well, I loved it. I really did.
Okay.
I think it's an amazing game. And I was pretty close to the end, but I finally wrapped it up. But I 100%ed the map. I got everything. I was almost gonna do all the achievements, but there are like 3 achievements in there that are just, what are you doing? There's one in there that's beat the game in 4 hours. There's one in there that is don't touch the poison water ever. And there's one in there. And there's one in there that's beat it without dying. And I was like, I cannot.
Someone has to be able to do that.
Nobody can do that. It's impossible. So
but I don't think those are meant to be like first try achievements. Those are kind of go back and get them later achievements.
Well, if you have to beat the game in 4 hours, you ain't going back. But I for sure thought, well, you must be able to start with New Game Plus and just all the abilities unlocked. And I did not see that option, but maybe I missed it. Anyway, the traversal stuff by the end of that game is just so fun. They give you I love games like that break by giving you they overpower you so much where you're just like, oh, this thing that used to be incredibly hard, now I can just fly, basically. This platformer, now I can just fly around. The only thing that happened that was a bit of a bummer is I beat the last boss and had this very touching cutscene and the game crashed. And then and it was a challenging boss fight, but it was one of those boss fights that when I had to do it all again, because it doesn't save for progress during that point. But once you figured out the patterns, wasn't as challenging. You know, like it's challenging because you're figuring out how to beat the boss. So I was able to beat it again fairly quickly, but it did crash during the last cutscene, which was kind of a bummer. Hard crash, just right to the desktop, right to the Xbox desktop. So that's what I've been playing. Alex, What you been up to?
So I'm in one of those situations now where I have a game and it has become my fixation game. It is kind of the thing that I am filling the spaces with. And it's doing it in a very similar way to the way Into the Breach did, which makes sense because of a similar kind of game. I, of course, still talking about fights in tight spaces, which I cannot seem to release myself from. There's just something about that kind of strategy game and that kind of pace of it where you are kind of just, you know, runs, let's say a successful run would probably take, you know, multiple hours, probably like 3 or 4 if you were to do it the whole way through. I have not done that so far. I have beaten the second of the 4 campaigns, but I got wrecked by the ninjas in the third one. And yeah, like it's not that I think it is like the most inventive or daring or, you know, unique game I have played in a long time. It's just hitting this particular part of my brain where whenever a run goes wrong, I'm like, well, got to start another one. And that's dangerous because that can siphon up a lot of time, a lot of life. And granted, I'm indoors a lot these days, so maybe that's not as much of a big deal. But yeah, like I'm kind of in the throes of it in a way that I sort of don't quite know how to detach myself from at the moment. Yeah, but it's real good is the thing. Like I'd feel worse about it if the game were not fun, and it is. And the variance of different attacks and cards that you get on each run seems to be pretty significant. So I haven't had any one run that felt like another. Like it seems like my abilities have been pretty different as you move along.
And you can beat that game, right? There is a progression to get to the end. Okay, it's not.
Yeah, there's 4 chapters, and each one is a series of fights against a particular type of enemy in a type of environment. So like the first one is all bikers. The second one is you go undercover in a prison. The third one is you fight ninjas in Berlin for some reason. Okay. You know, it's doing some very, like, it's being cheeky about its sort of, like, spy action movie tropes. But, you know, it's also the strategies that you employ in each of those different chapters are pretty significant. Like, they're pretty different from one another. And I have generally been playing as the attack-heavy deck. That's the one where it's, like, it's almost all, like, you know, offense and then supplementing it with defense as I go along.
Sure.
Just because I really like using like the wall jump punch and, you know, just the wild like 540 kicks and shit. That stuff's fun. Yeah. It's fun. It's real good, and I'm having a very good time with it.
Fights in tight spaces, early access.
Yes.
Though.
Yeah, and I will say I need that game to come out on consoles. Also, please do not come out on consoles because that will siphon up even more of my time if that thing ends up on the Switch at some point.
Alex, anything else?
That's kind of been it.
Okay.
I mean, I played a little more Strikers. I dabbled in a couple of things, but nothing I've spent significant time with.
Jeff Bakalar.
Hello there.
Says here you've been playing Loop Hero.
Yeah.
How is that?
I've been playing Loop Hero. I played about 3 hours of it.
Okay.
And I think I like it.
Good.
Okay.
Something I haven't played in a very long time. It's or at least a type of game that I have not played in a very long time. Don't have a terrible amount of experience with this style of game, but I do find it very, very cool and interesting. It is a game where you are a hero in some sort of world that has been sucked up by this evil, ominous thing. Okay. And you are basically put on this, believe it or not, cyclical path.
A loop, let's say.
A loop, if you will, over and over until you basically decide to jump out of it and then go back to like a base building simulator.
Okay.
So again, this is not a kind of game I play a lot of, but I was able to really pick it up relatively quickly and easily. So there's a few parts of it, a few details about it that I'm still a little fuzzy on. As to exactly their specific purpose or like their gamification purpose. Like I'm not exactly sure how I use them in strategy. But I'm at the point now where I've done maybe like 12 or 13 loops, and when you basically the loop has like a finish line, and that finish line is the campsite. Every time you make a loop and you cross over the campsite, you get some health back and certain things reset. And as you fight enemies, okay, that are on the loop, you fight automatically.
Okay.
There's certain metrics that and buffs and stat boosters. So for example, like my guy now has like really fast. I mean, and it changes loop by loop to loop, but ultimately the idea is to continue on the loop for kind of as long as you can survive and complete the loop, so that you pass the finish line, you get that HP bump, and as you are finishing and beating enemies, out of the enemies come cards. They spit out to the bottom of your screen. And also what spits out are items. There's about 9 to 12 slots for items. So you got like a weapon, armor, ring, and other shit that I haven't really gotten into just yet. And you can pause the action. So they call that the planning mode. So when you're in the planning mode, that's when you can really quickly replace your weapon, replace your armor, do some stuff you want with the cards at the bottom.
Okay.
So here's what's cool. The cards at the bottom, you essentially need to place on the map, because it's like this gridded SimCity sort of plate, right? Mm-hmm. So you unlock these things in the cards, like there's cemeteries, beacons, graveyards, and you place them on the map. It could either be like on the map at large or on the specific loop.
Okay.
So place like a cemetery on the loop. Every 3 days that go by, a skeleton will spawn in that spot. So you're constantly. So the thing that I am still grappling with is understanding: do I use all the cards all the time? Do I hold on to them? Some of the cards are just mountains. Some of them are just like geography. So you can start building mountains in the distance, and the more mountains that are on the map get add to your HP every time you complete a loop. Things get layered and complex pretty quickly.
Our game's getting harder to describe.
I
think I'm following along.
I'm following
too. I'm trying.
You're doing a great job. It's just like, games are getting hard to describe.
This is a game that like you kind of need to see it go through a loop or 3 or 4 or 5 times before you're like, oh, okay, because it's world building and it's not RTS. I'm sorry, it's not turn based because it's automated in a way. So you don't really you're not doing the turns. The game auto completes fights.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of it is plate spinning because you're just sort of maneuvering inventory items to kind of give your character the best chance of completing the loop.
So what happens if you die?
I've never died.
Of course.
I've not died yet. I've gotten really close.
You're a looper.
I've gotten to like 85 HP, and then you have the option every time you pass go. I'm gonna call it go. Every time you pass the campfire to spawn out. The second you spawn out, you go into this like safe world where you have friends and you're building up a campsite. So there's like campfire, there's tents, and again, I didn't mention this during your whole thing. You're collecting, items, resources. So the more wood you have, you can upgrade the campsite when you get out.
Sure.
Then you can upgrade. Then you can make like a blacksmith tent, and you can make whatever it is.
Upgrade your base.
Right. So I have not died yet, which I thought. I guess a part of me was just like, let me just die. But I guess to that point, it is not easy, but it's not super difficult either.
What's the goal? Do you know?
The goal, I assume, is to like build out your home world, your campsite world, to a point where I don't know. Right now, there doesn't seem to be much that I'm playing towards, aside from maybe understanding more of the story, like what happened, why is there this empty void? You believe the world to be like gone forever, but then you sort of meet creatures and people who are like, I have a vague memory of the land before all this happened, but every night I go to bed and I forget about it. That's strange, but it's still enough of a thread for me to kind of keep chasing along.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I think we have a quick look up now. I think Jan did a stream of it this morning.
Yes.
It's something I want to check out. Watching Jan stream it and watching the quick look, just kind of in the background, I was getting other stuff ready. Didn't look appealing at first, but I hearing you talk about it, the mechanics, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I should check this out.
Yeah, the mechanics are better than the aesthetics, I think. But,
Loop Hero.
Yeah, but
it's
that,
out, right? It's not early access.
Okay. It's out, and for me, that's also not entirely true. I do like the look of the thing. I also like the music. I think some of the music and some of the sound effects are pretty fun. Okay. But I mean, you could run this on anything, so that's cool.
Loop Hero. And what are you playing on?
I'm playing on PC.
Is it out on any consoles?
I don't know. It might be. It is a very much a point and clicky thing.
Okay. Point and
clicky. Yeah, I'm digging it. I like, even before we got on today, I played another hour of it just because I'm sort of just like, I gotta keep seeing what's happening here. It's fun. You know, when you start the loop over, there's nothing on the board. But very quickly things pop up, and it's fun. The idea of this world building mechanic layered on top of this, leveling up your character sort of thing is a really interesting combination that I just really not done before. So for that, I'm into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime there's a game that I think we struggle with to define because we can't use shorthand for the genre or struggle to define because you can't just say it's a blank, like, is interesting because it's
especially now, like, so many games are just about taking familiar ideas from various genres and kind of mashing them together. Like, the thing that actually kind of put me off of this thing initially was people describing it as an idle game. And I was like, I don't know, but I don't know if I need any more idle games in my life. But as I've kind of seen people talking more about it and seen some footage of it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not just an idle. Like, there's something more going on.
Idle mean like you wait around for shit to finish?
Yeah, you're just waiting shit for numbers to go up.
No, I mean, there is, in the beginning, there is a very small amount of that.
Yeah.
You can also like play at twice the speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll continue the loop 2 times faster than you normally would, which is a smart thing, that's what really made me think of like the SimCity stuff.
Jeff, is your dog backing up somewhere in your room? Is that what's happening?
This tractor just showed up, and I hope he's leaving. Yep, he's getting out of here.
Oh, he's taking your mailbox with you.
All right, Frank, take care, bud.
Oh, he seems to be driving right towards your house. Oh no.
I'm sorry about that. And yeah, it's it's funny because I did hear a lot of like genre buzzwords getting tossed out. I'm just like, you know what? Let's not do that in describing this game, Jeff. Let's just describe it for what it is, because I wouldn't even know how to start with that nonsense. That's what the game is like. It's certainly interesting. The whole deck building thing, though, kind of threw me for a loop, because when you get out of the loop world, what?
You threw for a loop.
Three for a loop.
You get out, and you like see this whole deck building thing, and the game doesn't necessarily do a great job of preparing you for that, because there's a mini tutorial, and you finish that up, and at no point is the game like, oh, but you're also gonna have to like mind what's in your deck. And I don't know if I fully understood that element of the game just yet.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Well, there's still time.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I feel like I'll get to that.
We'll get there.
But if you guys could both play that and talk to me about it next week,
I can check that out. I would like to check that out.
Now that Harvest Moon One World's out of my life, it's like a new lease, baby.
Complete the loop for me. And,
boom! I'll be your hero. So, anything else, Jeff?
Play it.
Anything
else? Just been doing a lot of teardown still. Yeah, and Little Nightmares, which I've not completed yet.
Little Nightmares.
Which is a fun one.
I think I might get that and try that with the kiddos. See how that goes.
No, Little Nightmares?
No, too creepy.
I know. I think you
actually
sort of,
maybe with your daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Wednesday with Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
Wednesday
that's right.
might actually be
into it. We played this. We got this game called Dice Throne. It's a kind of it's to me it very much feels like Overwatch but a board game. You have these heroes that you pick that you want to fight against each other, but it's not necessarily team based. Anyway, all these different characters. I got the 2 seasons of it, which means there's like I don't know 16 characters. I'm like, oh, do you want to try one and we'll play somebody? She's like, I want to do this one. I was like, you sure? Yeah. The Vampire Lord. Yep. I was like, the art's not too creepy for you? I said, no. It's like, you know what this is on her mouth, right? Yeah, it's blood. She drinks blood. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Hey, if you're cool.
Let's go, Vampire Lord.
Sounds cool, man.
Yeah, she's a real cool kid.
She's gonna be just fine.
It's all gonna be fine.
Other than those games, I know you don't want to hear more about my keyboard nerdery.
Oh, I always want to hear more about your keyboard nerdery.
There's nothing really new to report there. A lot of people.
Okay, well then why'd you
out.
bring it up?
Well, no, just a lot of people reaching out about those switches and stuff that I was talking about. So thanks to everyone who is humoring me on Twitter about that stuff. Completely unrelated. I tried. So there's like just stay with me here, okay?
I'm with you.
I tried out a brand new species of apple.
That's exciting.
Wait, a new apple dropped?
A new apple that I think they've been working on for close to 27 years.
That's somebody's life work there.
And it came out, I want to say in like late 2019, but this season's the first season I think it's been available on the East Coast.
What is it? Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Cosmic Crisp. And it is a
fuck
hybrid.
Yeah.
It is a hybrid
Yeah.
of Honey Crisps.
Delicious apple.
The fucking like the pinnacle, in my opinion, of apple supremacy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where's the cosmic coming? Weed.
And then just straight up
THC.
just straight up THC. No, Enterprise apples,
Nothing.
which I hadn't even heard
Granny Smith, Gala. I'm trying to think of all the apples.
I thought you were just like say you shine a black light over them and they glow like at fucking cosmic bowling.
I don't know.
That would be funny if they just had like specks of like shiny disco ball.
Oh.
It's also radioactive.
Yeah. It's so weird. And I like started reading about this, and this like, college laboratory, made this essentially and started growing it. And it took really long. And it took forever. It took 27 years. Apparently that's all. Apparently Honeycrisp is also some sort of like, genetically engineered apple as well.
Mutant apples.
Anyway,
The only Honeycrisp I recognize is the cereal.
It's not my favorite cereal though.
yeah, that actually got me starting to think of honeycombs. Remember honeycombs?
Honeycombs, I think I like more than honey crisp.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking of Golden Crisp.
Oh, Golden
Never
Crisp.
mind.
Golden Crisp,
Yeah,
which
Golden
is the one with
Crisp.
the
There's
frog.
honeycombs and Golden Crisp. Now you combine
No,
those two
frog
things.
is smacks, dude.
Now you got something.
That's Honey Smacks, and which is the one?
Honey
Which is the one
Smacks.
with Sugar Bear
Sugar bear?
or the Sweet Bear? The bear,
Bear?
Sweet Bear.
The bear is Golden Crisp, I
That's
believe.
Golden Crisp.
Golden
I think so.
crisp.
Okay, yeah. Boy,
Is that
Can't get enough of that Golden Crisp.
is he?
I thought-
Dude,
remember that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
is that just not like a knockoff cereal or something?
No.
God, I am almost 40, aren't
Yeah,
I?
like
If that's my breakfast cereal, like, point back and be like, yeah, that's the shit.
That's the
like, yeah,
one.
no, I'm fucking old.
It's too sweet. Too sweet.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Too sweet a cereal.
Cosmic Crisp apples are excellent.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
not, when you bite into a Honey Crisp for the first time, you're sort of just like, where have these been my whole life? Right? Because you're just like,
I'd
this
be
is
in
just,
a lab, apparently.
yeah, like this is just candy disguised as a fruit. This is a much more like muted, sugary sort of taste. You can taste the Honey Crisp in there, but it's a more like traditional apple. It's a little more. The sweetness is not as like tart as it is
Okay.
in a Honey Crisp. I just am fascinated by the fact that like we made these apples and they're all just like a branch of one tree, because apparently all apples were never sweet. Like some of them wound up being sweet. So when we found the sweet apple tree, we're like, yo, that one. We gotta
burn that other shit.
Yeah.
All that other, burn it to the ground. We gotta use that sweet tree, cut off the branches, send them all over wherever you can grow an apple tree and plant that shit. And that's what we do. We like graft the sweet apple branches. I'm a farmer now.
Can you buy the seeds, or is it one of those things where like, well, these are genetically engineered to not reproduce, so all the seeds inside your apple are sterile? Can I grow?
Yeah, if you want to buy them, you want to talk to Monsanto about that shit.
There's no seeds in the apple.
That's how they do
because
it.
They don't want people getting them.
You fucking gullible fucks.
Whatever.
No, of course there's seeds in the apple.
What do you mean, of course? You're telling me
there's seeds in this apple. I spit it out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's not it's not out of the realm. Like you can get like seedless. You get like a seedless grape, which is weird.
Again, I suppose. Now that I think I invented that science fiction fruitery, maybe it could be a thing.
That's right.
Like, do they make? You're saying they? Oh, I feel like we're having a fucking Riker conversation right now. Can they make an apple that doesn't have seeds?
I don't know. Probably. They probably like cross it with a jellyfish or something, and like suddenly it glows in the dark and doesn't make seeds. I don't know. They do all sorts of stuff.
Go check them out. I was stoked on it when I saw it in the store. I was like, nice. Look at this. I've been reading about it for a while.
That's so fun. Was it like
Apple blogs? And
was it like
I'm on there?
Hey, it's a new fruit. Like
we invented it.
We invented a new fruit. Welcome. All right.
Almost 3 decades of hard work.
It's just like those awful viral ads that are at the bottom of it. There's like, throw away your old apples. Here's the new ones.
That's right. And just like, was it like the banana? Your old apples will go extinct, and people will never know what an apple was.
There was at one point, I want to say in the early 2000s, I remember reading stories about how like a certain species of banana was going extinct.
That's what I just said.
No. But did it ever happen?
I believe, okay, don't send in a correction, please. I'm going to preface this by saying, I believe at some point there was something happened in the, I want to say mid-50s, 40s or mid-50s, that the bananas we have today are not the bananas they had then. We have a different strain of bananas.
That I'm pretty sure I can recall that, yes.
Yeah, I believe something similar seemed to be on the horizon, but I'm not sure.
Huh.
But anyway, let's...
Either way, catch me Sunday. I'll be unboxing a bunch of apples. And
there you go. Baclar gets every apple he can. He does a taste test.
Naturally,
and builds a keyboard.
There's nothing natural about it.
This one here, this is the iMac Pro. This is this tastes bad.
Delicious.
This is
and
terrible.
It's delicious. Let me tell you, it's delicious.
This is an iPhone. All right, should we take a break? We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, here we go.
I guess we'll come back.
We'll come back. Hold on. Make sure you can hear this.
Oh, yeah. Delicious.
This week's show is brought to you again by Fabletics. Alex and Jeff.
Hi, Vinny.
Hey there.
At this point, I think I consider myself a fablete. A fablete? A fab athlete. I've worn that Fabletics quite a bit. Bacalar, how's your fableticism?
I'm not going to say that forbidden word, but I'm going to tell you that I'm wearing them right now.
Okay.
That is no lie. And this podcast read is going super smooth.
As if you were a trained athlete, you're saying. You've prepared for this read in your fabulous athletics wear.
That is exactly right.
Fabletics makes athletics clothing, which Bacalar has stated you can wear even if you're not being athletic, but you could wear it if you're going out there or staying inside and doing some athletic feats. They keep it simple, they focus on what counts, and do those things better than anyone else. That's what it says here, and that's a statement, huh? You can go to fabletics.com/Beastcast for access on a great deal. Get your first 2 pairs of shorts for just $24 when you become a Fabletics VIP member at checkout. You get all the styles, all the colors, no exclusions. It's a great deal because they know once you try their gear, you'll be hooked. And why else should you become a Fabletics men's VIP member? So that you can get the best activewear at the best prices and get at least 20 to 50% off retail prices every time you shop. You're gonna get free shipping on all orders over $49 and free returns and exchanges within 45 days. And And you can access even more savings with member credits. That's where you can choose to pay $49.95 for a member credit, and then you can use that credit towards anything up to $80 that you get billed $49.95, and then you can get something that's $80. Then those credits expire after 12 months. Or you can choose to skip the month and pay nothing. You also get free access with your VIP membership to their new workout app for on-demand workouts led by top trainers. You got all that, Bacalar?
Yeah, it sounds great. I want to hear more about the top trainers, but I guess I'll just have to check out the app.
Check out the app VIP memberships over at fabletics.com/Beastcast. Let them know we sent you. Thanks, Fabletics. And we are back. Hello, everybody. It is time to go into a bit of what happened in the news this week. A couple of stories here. Let's kick it off. Alex, you went through, pulled some stories. Let's kick it off with this one here with Bethesda and Microsoft. Now just the best of friends.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's not news that Microsoft was buying Bethesda. That's been known for some time, but the deal closed this week. It is done. All the regulatory nonsense has been solidified. And as someone, I think we all here who have gone through a similar, if not nearly as pricey process, yeah, it takes a while for all that shit to get sorted out. So yes, officially Bethesda is now part of the Microsoft family of products.
Okay.
And there was a live stream today. This is actually, I'm combining the story right after this. There was a live stream today where I guess Phil Spencer and at least a couple of folks from Bethesda were talking about the deal, kind of what's going on with them going forward. And there wasn't really a lot learned from that necessarily. It was more them just kind of confirming what a lot of people believed, which is that they have some contracts they need to honor, which means that some of their upcoming products will be multi-platform. But also this deal was done as a way to bolster Microsoft's family of exclusives. So going down the road, obviously they haven't said which titles yet, but down the road, I think it's safe to expect that Bethesda products will be exclusive to places where you can play your Xbox stuff, whether that be on an Xbox or on a PC.
Yeah, at the very least, timed exclusive, right?
And and God only knows, again, which games that's going to be, because a lot of Bethesda stuff is pretty far off right now. But it's just they're more or less just reconfirming what we already kind of knew. One thing that did get announced, however, is that a whole bunch of Bethesda games are coming to Game Pass starting tomorrow.
Yes, I feel like this either was rumored or had been hinted at before that some of this stuff is going to happen. So what do we have? What do we got coming up?
So it's apparently going to be 20 games, and it is Dishonored, Dishonored 2.
Great.
All of the Dooms except Doom 2016, which I don't know if that's because that's already on Game Pass or they're just going to do that one later. Not sure. But yeah, Doom 1, 2, 3, 64, and Eternal are all going to be up there. Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim Special Edition. Elder Scrolls Online.
Just want to if it Morrowind, the 360 Morrowind.
Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Okay, I don't know if there's like a special edition that was made either for Xbox One. I certainly don't think there was a Series X version.
I don't think there was.
Okay,
and it's worth noting that some of these are going to be cloud only. Like for instance, Elder Scrolls Online is going to be cloud and console. It sounds like.
Okay, and is this starting to have a tough time separating Game Pass Xbox and Game Pass console?
So all of these are marked as to whether they are console, PC, or cloud, or all of the above. And in almost all cases, it's actually console, PC, and cloud. A few of these are specifically cloud and console, or other, like console PC is Oblivion. There's no cloud version of that.
Okay.
There is a cloud. There is no PC version of Elder Scrolls Online going to Game Pass, but the cloud and console versions will be.
Gotcha.
I'm getting a correction from the chat here. OG Xbox on the Morrowind, not even a 360.
Yeah.
Boy, time, huh? Time.
Yeah. Further along, Evil Within, Fallout 4, Fallout 76.
Okay.
Fallout New Vegas, which is console only for Game Pass. Prey, Rage 2, and then all the recent Wolfensteins: New Order, Old Blood, Young Blood. That's a lot of their. That's pretty much their entire recent library.
Yeah,
by and large.
So no Rage, or did you say Rage?
No, Rage 2.
Rage 2.
Oh, Rage
but
2,
not Rage.
but not Rage. Okay.
Yeah, no Evil Within 2. Though again, that could also already be on Game Pass. I don't know.
I want to say it might be, but yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right, hey, if you're on Game Pass, boy howdy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of this deal was done specifically to bolster Game Pass going forward. Like, as much as exclusives matter, and Microsoft certainly needs them, they're all in on Game Pass at this point. They want that to be the premier thing people come to Xbox stuff for. And yeah, I mean, those are all big games, and if you haven't played any of those, that's a great way to do it potentially.
Really tough to make the argument that you do not need Game Pass, or because I mean, just the value proposition is now it is just so compelling.
To the point where now I'm starting to wonder if they're going to course correct somewhere down the road and realize they are maybe in a way kind of over delivering for what it actually costs. And I
just
worry
think it's
one
continue
day
to go up in price is what.
At some point it will certainly.
I mean, I think it is. I think it's probably the proposition now of like, do you go into the Xbox family because of Game Pass? I mean, if you have an Xbox or you're in that ecosystem, then you should probably have Game Pass. But like,
they are hurtling towards that. Yes.
I think it's what this is hyperbole, and I apologize, but it sometimes feels like what people who have press accounts sound like when you just go in and you're just like, oh, just all these games are here to play.
I own that too. Wonderful, wonderful.
They're all just here, ready for me. Oh, delicious. What's here today? Yeah, I mean,
I can't tell what accent you're doing. It's like somewhere between British and Mid-Atlantic. I can't quite tell.
That's my traditional games reviewer with the press pass accent.
With a monocle.
Yeah, the cheese and wine press. So it's I go into Game Pass every once in a while, and I see a bunch of stuff, but I never download it. But you have the EA stuff in there as well now.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, come on. This is we are there.
It's a hell of a service.
We're not headed there. It's here.
So I think I'm curious to see the numbers on it, especially for some of these older games. The cost benefit analysis, some of the new stuff also. So here's what I'll say: armchair game vet, Vinny Caravella here, just gonna tell you how I think this works. So new games mostly sell DLC, cosmetics, and a lot of other buy-in things to get you on the fringe.
Season passes,
and the what have you. So I suspect there's some money, you get compensated, I hope, right, for being on Game Pass if you're a developer. But I think you're looking for a long game on this stuff, right? You want to sell the cosmetics and DLC or whatever. I don't know how it works strictly for single-player narrative games where there's no cosmetic or buy-in. Older games, I wonder if you use those. I wonder, there's money changing hands. Obviously, in this one where Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft, there was a dump truck of money that changed hands. But I wonder if some of that leads into, hey, never played Skyrim. Hey, this is a great chance to play. And when the next one comes out, you're hooked, right? Or you're in the system. I don't know. I just wondered the financials for Microsoft, the financials for developers, how that's all. And for the consumers, it seems like a pretty good deal.
My answer to all that is yes.
Yeah.
My understanding, limited. I mean, I've never gotten exact numbers from anyone, but my understanding is that a lot of the upfront money that developers are getting from being on Game Pass is pretty significant. And,
it is
enough to potentially offset some of the lost sales they might have gotten otherwise.
It's interesting.
Like I said, I don't know exact numbers, but I haven't heard anyone necessarily complain about what the upfront money was compared to what they might have potentially made otherwise.
On the dev side.
On the dev side.
Okay,
I have no idea what Microsoft's
right.
like long-term, like what they are making versus like what they are investing. But from the dev side, it seems like there haven't been too many complaints that I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like they are happy to be in the red for a little bit, playing the long game. I mean,
Microsoft,
yeah. The idea that you can collect, how much is Game Pass a month? $5? $10?
I think it depends. It depends what you get. If you get Ultimate,
I think it's 15 for Ultimate or something like that. Whatever it is, your most. And I also am curious about the attach rate for Game Pass per Xbox console. But that's the idea. Is you get people playing a game that they maybe normally would not have been interested in, and now they have access to it. and then they like it, and then
Yeah.
they buy it when the new one comes out.
Either buy it when the new one comes out, when it cycles out of Game Pass, maybe they're picking up a better edition of it. They're buying the remaster of it when that happens eventually in 5 years. They're buying all the DLC.
Right.
Also, are you telling your friends now that like,
Right.
hey, I'm in the Xbox family. Get in the Xbox family so we can play Deep Rock Galactic together, right? Because that has occurred to me to tell my whole family, like, hey, I really want to play Deep Rock with you guys. You don't have the PC is probably not going to be the thing, but if you can if you guys get an Xbox, even the S, like then we can play.
I mean, someone. This is not. We are no longer experimenting here. The math has been done.
Right.
The models have been simulated.
Well, I don't know. I think we still are. I think there's some long-term numbers.
I'm willing to bet
Yeah.
that Game Pass is pretty much okay in terms of profitability, just because of the idea. It's the thing. It's like no one's ever going to play everything, but it's like you said, that over delivery.
Yeah.
The idea that you are losing out if you are not a subscriber, which I think is true in a lot of ways.
So I haven't looked recently at the tiers they have, but maybe the chat knows as well. They still offer just the gold, right? You can just still get gold, and you can get Game Pass separate, and then you can still get them combo. Yeah, I see. When
if that is the case, that's not going to be the case for now. I want to say I remember them saying.
Did they roll it all up?
They said they were rolling it up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the question was, are they going to roll in the streaming stuff at some point? Right. The what is that called? The
cloud.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's the name of their?
I think it's just I think it's Xbox Cloud
services.
I think it's just cloud games or something.
So I think PS Plus is still pretty good value. And the games they have on there, I think.
It is. They just can't compete with the volume now.
And I think
it's the volume thing.
What's it? PS Now? Is
yeah.
I have not tried that.
I am my kid is a big time PS Now advocate.
Yeah. Okay.
Just him.
Okay.
Got to play those old Lego Legacy games, man.
I think Nintendo's classic stuff. I haven't been in there in ages. I assume they're still adding stuff to it.
I bet you that library is pretty nasty at this point, but I never go in there.
Yeah, I never go in there either. Anyway, interesting stuff. For me, it feels like it puts with the PC Game Pass and the Ultimate Game Pass, with the combo PC and Xbox, it's a pretty cool like ecosystem to be in right now. Like, if you have a fully capable PC and you have an Xbox and the ability to, for a lot of games, jump back and forth, a lot of day one stuff coming to Game Pass from inside Microsoft, and Microsoft really dumping money into first-party development by acquiring first-party developers, by making these people first-party developers. It's really interesting to see what they're doing in that space. It's changing a little bit of how I think about games, where I mostly was buying stuff on PC to say, hey, this is where the bulk of my library is always going to be, on my PC of games I own. Now, Game Pass, obviously you don't own those games, so that will remain the case. But I'll check Game Pass a lot of times first to see if it's on there, because hey, I don't know if I'm going to commit to this game. I'm going to try it out. And then sometimes I will also just go to the PC and be like, I gotta go to the PC and get this.
A couple times a month, I'm surprised at what is day and date on Game Pass.
So that all being said, I still primarily look on my PlayStation first, on the console side, and then, but I always have to remind myself, like, Game Pass might have this. I should go. Yeah. I should go look.
Something that changed in the last year, where it's like, oh, this is now a place you can check too.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's okay. So Bethesda, do they say when that stuff is hitting on the Game Pass? Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Alex, what else is going
on? So this will be relevant to your guys' interest. Roblox. You guys heard about this? Hear about these Roblox?
The Roblox.
Yes. Yeah. I hear about it too much, perhaps.
Well, now you can buy some Robstocks. Roblox is now being publicly traded on the damn stock market. And
on the damn stock market.
And its valuation is high.
What is it? It came out at 48 or something, didn't it?
45.
Well, so it ended the day trading at just under $70, which gave it a valuation of about $45 billion.
Okay, all right.
Which this story here on Kotaku helpfully points out is approximately 6 Bethesdas.
It's a very popular
Yes,
game.
it is. How do you?
Is it a game or is it a platform?
It's a
Both.
platform.
It's a both.
Okay.
Well,
So it's like is it like a Fortnite situation where it's like there is a base game in there that everyone feasibly is playing, and then they're
I don't
adding
think
stuff?
so. The way I understand it, when it boots up, and I've booted it up a bunch because now I password protect that shit because I'm done paying for Blue Acorns. I'm not gonna buy Roblox or whatever the fuck that currency is called.
Just buy the stock. Now you can just buy the stock. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway, and you open it up, and it's just like almost like a store appearance, and you play. They're all free, the games, but I think within each game there's a micro economy in the game. He's obsessed with this one where you find these eggs and you can pay to not have to wait to mine more eggs. Roblox.
We dabbled and we got out. We got dabbled and got out.
Yeah, I'll say this. So a lot of people were asking me. I tweeted about him complaining about a garbage game the other day, and this was the game he was complaining about because
Roblox.
He could not get rid of like a screen. He was playing the game with a screen on.
What platform is he playing on? I've heard the Xbox version of Roblox, not the place to be. It's all
right. Yeah. Why? What is it? PC the place to be, or your phone?
I think mobile or iPad or
that shit ain't happening.
A tablet device, but I don't know, or a laptop.
Like I know we talked about this directly before, but like that game, like a game is not very polished because they're all these little individually developed things, but it nevertheless
it's popular.
Insanely popular.
I am not a fan of Roblox. When I heard about this, I think Backler, you were the first one to tell me that, hey, did you know Roblox is going public? I was like, could I shave off like $100 or something and just go buy a Roblox stock? Should I not buy that next Masterpiece Transformer? And then I spent the day at the doctor's and came back and was like, oh, what happened there? And I think you were like, yeah, no, it did. It went public. I was like, that feeling passed.
It started at 45, and then like within 10 minutes, it had shot up to like 65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now it's hanging out around 72.
Because some of the initial valuations they were apparently having for this thing was like, oh, this will be worth about $4 billion, 5 billion, whatever. And then it's just like, how about 45?
Yeah. My when I was in the car, we were driving to the doctor. I was like, hey, did you know Roblox is going IPO? She's like, don't support that game. It said, all right.
I mean,
listen, a lot of people really like it. I understand.
It's the first game to actually make me feel aged.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
If you've accomplished one thing, Roblox, you've accomplished that. I mean, but at the same time, like my kid does realize, like, oh, this isn't the best. Like, there's motherfucking Rocket League that I've been doing, and that's right. that's pretty polished and great. We still play a lot of Switch, and he's always like, oh, this game's just better, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. I think it is. It is?
I also wonder, like, is it peaked?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, but now you have an existence where like the stock price of it is not necessarily related to
right. There's
how well it's doing.
Artificial value. Yes,
things are it's perceived value, right?
Yeah.
So like
I don't know. I say that now.
That is a very profitable thing.
Somebody's gonna cut is it peaked out of context and play it when we all attend like the Robloxian ceremony in 20 years because they own New Jersey.
Right.
And
they're one of the 4 corporations that owns everything.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Is in space mining fucking resources so they can make more Roblox servers.
They've built the Dyson Sphere so they can NFT their Roblox items, and the Dyson Sphere is generating. I'm just mining on the Ethereum chain. Let's get a different story because this is depressing me. What's up?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's. It's not depressing. It's depressing.
I understand where you're getting at, and you're right.
Yeah. All right, well, here's a less depressing thing. Here's a thing that is not as sad. This is maybe going to make some people happy. So there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game coming out.
Oh, Heroes in a Half Shell?
Yeah, the Heroes in a Half Shell, the classics. Shredder's getting his revenge, apparently.
About time.
This game is made by some of the folks that made the Scott Pilgrim game.
Okay.
And also made the extremely well-regarded Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for Game Boy Advance in 2007, which I never played, but I've heard people say nice things about for years.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You all right?
We were on Game Boy Advance in 2007. Is that when we were still Game Boy Advancing in 2007?
That seems late, no?
That seems late.
Yeah, that does seem late. You're right.
That's DS was out by then.
No, it was, I'm looking at the story. TMNT, the acclaimed 2007 brawler for Game Boy Advance. You know what, though? The thing is, that might have been that period where they were still releasing some GBA stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But DS had, it existed and was out.
That feels late. Okay. Either way.
Either way, it is apparently a GBA game. But nonetheless, so this is some of the folks that worked on that stuff. It is being published by .emu. I don't know what the hell that publisher is called. And the trailer they put out for this, one, it shows a fairly, I'm not going to say standard, but it looks like, kind of in the vein of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade games. This is supposedly, in that lineage of like the Turtles in Time original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. And it had a theme song sung by Mike fucking Patton.
Really?
Yes, Mike Patton sings the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Faith
Turtles
No
themes
More.
in this trailer. Of Faith No More, of Mr. Bungle, of
Yes.
Phantomas fame.
I need to hear this. Does it sound
You
like...
need to hear this.
Does it sound like... Which Mike Patton are we getting? Are we getting they're like Mr. Bungle, like... Or are we getting the...
It's closer to that.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I recognized him immediately before I saw someone say,
Can you play
that's
it?
Mike Patton.
Can you play it?
I can try and play it.
I tweeted it. I have the link is on my Twitter feed if you want to pull up that trailer.
Is it
A lot of people are
trailer?
talking shit that they really fucked up the original theme. I mean,
Let's see.
it's just
Here's the thing.
It's just a remake. I wasn't mad at it.
All I did was post it. I didn't even make a comment on the quality of it. And there were already a handful of completely insufferable fucking nerds in my mentions being like, they ruined the melody of this. The sanctity of the song is ruined. And it's just like, okay, if these are the people this is pissing off, then they did a great job on this.
And why is that? Well,
I'm
never mind.
going to try and play it, okay? I'm going to try.
Give it a shot.
Hopefully this comes
please,
through.
Please do it, because I'd love to hear it for the podcast peoples.
It's just
Let's
a
do it.
trailer, right?
It's just the trailer.
It's just the trailer.
Here it is.
Yeah, you hear it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Keep going.
What'd you think?
That was just a snippet.
Yeah, that was barely it, man.
It stopped the page reload because there was an ad, of course.
Of course.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in the hot shell. They are the world's most fearsome fighting kings.
I like what they're doing with the drums there, man.
Heroes in the hot shell and their queens. When the evil shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't care.
Honestly, this whips.
Yeah, this is cool.
This whips ass. What the fuck are people complaining about?
Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
I do like this a lot.
This game rocks, right?
This
He got paid.
This is me.
This is it.
This is totally me grabbing the guitar and asking my kids what song I should play, and then looking up on like Tab Crawler a song I've never heard before, and being like, okay, I've got the chord progression here. I don't really know how this song goes with the melody or anything like that, but let's give it a shot. You know, let's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. See, this is what the words say. That's hilarious. That's funny.
It's delightful. Like
That's
what? Like
funny.
it's fine. It's a goofy spin on it. Why not? I don't know. I think if you are desperately protecting the sanctity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themes, you maybe need to reevaluate some things about your life.
I want Mike Patton to reimagine all of my childhood cartoon songs, but only by somebody sending him a tab and the lyrics, and not the actual music or the notes that he should be singing.
I think you should send him exactly one episode of any given cartoon, but it's never the one that establishes the character, so he has no idea what's going on.
No idea. Just be like, hey, try and do this G.I. Joe thing if you can. G.I. Joe, real American.
The fuck is a visionary? Oh god, they got holograms and shit. All right, I'll figure this out.
What they so they like human like cats? All right. I mean thunder cat. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that's delightful. Anyway, the game looks like it's got a nice look to it. I think it'll be.
I love it. I think the art looks really, really cool. I think it's. I don't know. I am tough to get upset about anything I'm seeing.
I'm picking up what they're putting down.
I am picking it up and I am loading it up, and man, I'm excited to play this game.
Yeah.
They even do that cool throw the enemy back at you at the scream bit.
Everybody loves that bit.
It wasn't like that.
Do they have are they getting I didn't watch the rest of this obviously, but is there like pizza time? Turtle power.
Sure.
We got
there's not a lot of game footage in there. Like a lot of it is just animated cinematic, and then there's like a little bit of footage at the end. But you know, it seems like all the main characters are going to be there.
All right. So what is the what's the date on this?
I'm not sure there is one yet. I think they are targeting this year, but I'm not sure there is a full release date for it yet. They just announced it.
Okay. I like what's going on here.
It's just got a cool look.
Yeah,
it just
looks like a Turtles game,
and it looks like
but it also like it is a strange kind of like refinement of that pixelated turtle thing that just looks so dope.
Yeah, like there's two ways I would be fine with them going. If they did a full cell animated look that was not, pixelated at all, or if they just did a cleaner version of the pixelated look, and that's the one they seem to go with, which I'm totally fine with.
They're playfully exaggerated. It's just fun.
The Leo's swords here, Leonardo's swords look very big.
Swords.
They are. I just tweeted. They are at least 5 feet long. He could prop himself up on stilts with them. I feel like
they seem large and charge.
He's got some katanas, man.
I don't know how he puts those on his back and isn't just like stuck in the ground, like swinging his feet.
Like dragging sparks behind him.
Or just like shoves him in the ground. Like, a little help here, guys.
Yeah, I put my swords away again, and I've
stuck myself to the ground.
myself to the road. Goofball Leonardo.
No, they need to be bigger than Donatello's staff. I'm the leader. It needs to be longer.
The best was the phantom range that everyone thought Donatello had with that bow staff.
Yeah, you get the range.
He could reach across the screen with that.
You could hit Baxter Stockman from the other end of the map.
My kid's gonna freaking what's great, here's the thing, right? That Ninja Turtles are like, I just like the fact that this will probably be a couple hours, maybe sink your teeth into it a little bit. I don't know that to be true.
If it's got like a Streets of Rage, if it's got like a Streets of Rage 4 level of length to it, I'm totally fine with that. Also, that level of balancing where it is clearly not an arcade game, it is a game made for people to play at home and not just siphon your quarters, that would also be great.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, one more quick thing here. This is just a pour one out notice here. Artifact. You remember that game, right? The card battling game that Valve was working on for a while and then decided needed a refresh almost immediately.
Yes.
They will no longer be refreshing Artifact.
What's happening to Artifact? Is it indeed an artifact?
It kind of, yes. So they were just never able to get the player base to where they wanted it, it sounds like. And at this point, they have decided that they are no longer going to be updating the game. So you can download it now. There is Artifact Classic, and then there is the Artifact 2.0 Beta, which is the version of the game it was going to be the updated version, I guess. And they have renamed that Artifact Foundry. And you can download those for free. You can just play them for free, but there will be no more updates and no more additions to them.
There's an Artifact Classic?
It's the version that launched, I think.
That is some new Coke shit.
Yeah.
That is that game.
It's new Coke.
That game never came out, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you have a classic? All right. Well,
Also, it came out in 2018. I don't think anything is allowed to be classic after 3 years. Like,
No.
that's not possible.
it's a short turnaround there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So, pour that one out. And, I assume that everyone that was working on that will just be, refolded into other Valve projects, as is
Sure.
their way.
Yes.
But nonetheless, if you were one of the 19 people still playing Artifact, you can do it for free, I guess.
yeah. Do you get anything for having put money into that game, or is it just gets reabsorbed into the machine?
The satisfaction and knowledge that you supported a game that you love.
I love that.
Yeah.
And wasn't there? I thought I saw something about like foil cards or something. Maybe there's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about Artifact. Like, I never played it.
Yeah.
That was around the time when I was really trying to scrutinize my CCG usage and
Yeah.
playing, and I was like, I need to get rid of the one I'm playing a lot of now. I don't need to add more into my life. So that was kind of where I went on it.
Hearthstone's still kicking around, huh?
Yep, and I haven't played it in 2 years, and I could
Okay.
not feel better about it.
Very clean. That clean lifestyle.
That's
That's
what I got.
I put this story in here because maybe some people will be affected, and I thought it's kind of a sad story. There
I
was
don't like to be affected.
don't be affected by it. Apparently, 25 servers were lost in a fire at a data center for Rust, affecting the game Rust. Now, I don't know that much about how Rust carries over data. First, I'll say nobody was injured, nobody was hurt, but the servers went down, and apparently the data that was on them, and the story I was reading over on Polygon said Rust has regular server wipes that happen every month, so that mitigates. I'll just read it here. Slightly mitigates how much data could be lost from each server. But apparently there is going to be some server information lost for folks that are affected. And the data is not going to be restored once they get those servers back up. So yeah, fire over in a data center in Strasbourg, Germany. Again, nobody.
Oh, wait. Because I read about another data center fire in France.
This is
So
in
that's-
Germany.
This one's in Germany. Okay, so we had 2 different major data center fires in Europe within a relatively short amount of time. I'm not trying to get conspiratorial here. I'm just saying. But
Okay.
apparently the one that happened in France, a bunch of like the cyber warfare division of the French government, like a bunch of their shit got fucked up. So like they can't do work right now. They
Oh,
can't
boy,
do their cyber
that's-
warfare.
The counter cyber warfare or the aggressive.
I don't know. It's whatever
offensive?
hackers are employed by the French government. Apparently they can't do their work right now because a whole
Okay.
bunch of their shit got fucked up.
Oh boy. All right. Well, just
Brave new world.
Yeah. I mean, that sucks. That's probably a lot of
Yeah.
money. I assume they have insurance. I hope they had insurance, and I'm glad nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
Anything else, news, fellas?
That's all I got. Jeff, did you have anything?
There was this one story that my friends were throwing around in a group chat about it was from the Ringer about the pursuit of a PlayStation 5, and I threw this in there thinking we could talk about it for a sec because I kind of don't understand the point of it.
Okay, what is it?
It's a kind of like an opinion piece almost about like the rush to, I guess the sort of like takeaway is like the rush to get a PS5 and the thrill of the chase is better than the console itself. Is
Oh.
sort
I
of
could
like
see
the
that.
takeaway from this.
I could see that because, yeah, I mean, look, we've been on record saying that these consoles as they exist right now are not must owns, really, because there just
Yeah.
isn't that many games out for them. It is indetermined when a bunch more of those games will be coming. Like, we know about a few, but like this year is probably going to be relatively dry as far as major releases go. So I can kind of get that, but like, so what is the part you take umbrage with?
I just sort of think it says a lot of nothing, because someone was like, in my group chat was like, hey, well, I'm not sure what is this guy trying to say? And I skimmed through it and I read it and I was like, well, it just seems like he's saying that the thrill of the chase eclipses that of the value of actually owning one of these things. He talks a little bit about like the scalping issue and that whole sort of
Bots.
bot gate nastiness and the
No, we're not affixing gate to shit. We're not doing that anymore.
Why
Okay,
not?
that's
And-
done. No,
the
because
flippers-
it's done.
Okay.
there's no more gates
There's no more gates.
and all the flippins that are
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, to me, it's sort of just like, I think he tries to be a little bit more philosophical and sort of say like, this is the gaming culture. This is what video games has done to us. We try and turn everything into the gamification of everything. I don't think that's maybe the case, but I don't know. Like, I still think there are many other wild things kind of at play with like resource, shortages. The global supply chain is still not what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are a lot of other contributing factors to just what is going on. I will say this: if you asked me in November if you'd be able to find a PS5 by the start of spring, I would have told you yes.
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem like that's going to be necessarily.
I will say it sounds like when
easier.
when they have been popping up, I've heard in both cases that it seems like they're available for a little longer before they sell out. Like it's not the instantaneous, like, oh, yep, nope. The second the page popped up, I couldn't add anything to my cart. Like some people are getting in, and it seems like, and this is anecdotal, but like it seems like there is a window, and that window is growing a bit by bit each time they do new drops. But nonetheless, there are still probably a whole lot of bots that are snagging these things, and still.
I mean, at some point, on a long enough timeline, that starts to shrink into a tinier and tinier return in the market, I guess.
And then they'll move on to whatever the next big tech thing, which inevitably will be graphics cards, I assume.
Right. I just thought it was a little, I don't know, a little strange-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with someone expressing that notion. I think there is a degree of that kind of sort of like sport fishing tech lust kind of thing going on, where people are just, they want to say they claim their trophy or what have you. But yeah, I agree. Like at this point, there's nothing else to talk about with these systems, though. Like really, like that's
honestly,
the only
that's
thing that's interesting thing about them is that you can't get them.
Right. The well is officially dried up, and that's about this is the most we can mine out of that completely void shaft. So I don't know. Do you have an opinion, Vinny?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you already have the consoles.
Well,
I mean, everything. A lot of things are in a great shortage right now, right? Like GPUs.
Yeah, Like, what's your direct question? My direct opinion on which part?
Just what do you think about all this? That's all. I like to hear from you on this kind of stuff.
I feel bad that people can't get what they want, especially on the the hoops you'd have to go. I would not have a PS5 or a Series X if it were not for this job.
Right. Same. 100% same.
I was not going to go through those hoops.
I mean, you might have scored one.
The only reason I got mine is because I really fucking lucked out and managed to avoid most of the hoops.
So I didn't have time to do the hoops. I would not pay scalper prices for it, or I would not pay secondary market prices for it. And I think it was, but I also don't know if going out of your way to get a PS5 or Series X right now is worth it, given the games exclusive to those systems. So, but I do feel that I do have that, like, I want one, like, hey, everybody's got one, and you feel it. So, I think it's tough, and they're very expensive consoles, and having to jump through hoops to put down $600 on something is it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
I mean, the other sort of point of the piece is like this has created a subculture of people, right? Where it's like, people who, and I also think a lot of it is due to the pandemic too, where people just are, some people who can afford to do it are just home a lot and able to kind of like, turn this sort of obsession into a possibly lucrative side hobby. And I just think that there's a lot of strange, not strange, but they're, the byproduct of the current, pandemic has led to me, what the story is saying has led to this sort of cultivating of people who are like obsessively refreshing and the thrill, creating more of a
But that's
thrill
not
and a demand
that's not a
for this
new
kind of stuff.
thing. Like that's
No.
not a new culture.
No.
Like that's existed
No.
any time there
But-
has been
Yeah.
an online launch of one of these kinds of things, and like it just moves from device to device depending on demand.
We
Right.
got a couple of emails about this. I don't know if I took them. I don't think I did. About like what would you do if you were selling something like this? Like how would you put protections in place, or what would you do? A couple of emails similar to that. I think buy limits on stuff are important. Like if you're a retailer and you say, hey, you can only buy 2, or I think for me it's like those instant drops where there's a rush to just get on the site and the whole infrastructure breaks down. It's too much. I don't know but I also don't know if the telegraphing when you're going to get them back in stock helps, because the whole, I added this to my cart, by the time I got to checkout, it was gone.
But it doesn't matter where you cannot prevent, even if a retailer gets a stock update.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's the whole
It's
thing. The
impossible
whole
to
thing
keep
isn't
that a
crumbling.
secret.
And I don't want to get too in the weeds on this, but it's happening across other things I collect and I look for in ways that I hadn't seen before from this year. There's a lot in the toy world of retailer exclusives now, where Target, Amazon, Walmart, they're all getting
Dude, comic books.
Yeah, this is happening a lot where they're all getting in on retailer exclusive stuff. And those things are just, and since I'm not going to physical stores, those things are selling out online immediately and just hitting the secondary market immediately. And the infrastructure of those online sites can't handle that load a lot of times. And people are like, and there's a whole subculture of like, hey, my local Walmart has this thing. Like, everybody go here. Like, you can go pick this up. And I can't play that game. I'm not gonna necessarily go to the local Walmart to get something like that for a bunch of reasons. And 2, I don't drive really. Like, we have one car. I'm not gonna be like, I gotta go borrow the car and I'm gonna go drive so I can get this Bumblebee, which is a Walmart exclusive, because it might be in stock 20 miles away. Like that's
right.
That stuff to me, like on collection stuff, is really frustrating. And when you're talking about a $600 thing that you've probably come to, you made your peace with, I'm going to spend this, and then spend months trying to get, it's super frustrating. And while other people are talking about how much fun this thing is, and the load times are so much faster, and like I just want to get one, it's tough. I feel for it. I want to circle back quickly to this fire. I think, Alex, this is one in the same. I think this was.
It is okay.
I think this is in France. I think that Polygon article is actually wrong.
Okay.
Which is odd.
I was gonna say 2 server fires in the same week. That seems a little wild.
Yeah, they said the server was in the site was in Germany. Unless I'm really misreading something on both of these, I think this is one and the same. So I just wanted to self-correct that.
All right.
And put that in there.
Okay, so no conspiracy, just a giant fire in one building. That had a bunch of servers in
it sounds like it. It's the OVH data center. I went to a couple of other places to go see what is going on here. Once you said that, seemed pretty weird.
Yeah.
All right. Should we take another quickie? And we'll be right
I can
back.
do a quickie.
We'll take a quick
quickie.
break. I'm going to refresh all my sites to see if they got the if Alita 1 came in at Target, so I can get that Transformer. And then we'll be right back. Stay tuned, folks, while I get the music up here. Hold on. There it is. And we're back. Hello. Hi, everybody. We've got your emails here. Hi, Alex. Hi, Jeff.
Got
your emails.
Did you figure out how to
do what?
Make it easier
rain?
to buy PS5s in the time?
I did.
No? That's what I was working on.
But I have to get my NFT set up for it. Nice. Thank you. We're going to do some emails. You can send them into beastcast.giantbomb.com. That is beastcast.giantbomb.com. Beastcast@giantbomb.com. You can send in those emails. Thanks to everybody for sending them in. I, of course, forwarded all the emails to their appropriate places. I hope Alex and Jeff, you are now further enlightened thanks to our kind listeners who sent us emails that I forwarded to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's start here. Bacalar, why don't you take this one from Travis?
Sure thing. Hi, Beast friends. I've recently decided to treat myself and replace all my old underwear with fancy, comfortable
God
underwear.
bless. God bless.
From what-
That's the thing to do.
What?
That's the thing to do. Replace your underwear.
Yeah, let me finish the thing.
Yeah.
Comfortable underwear from one of those internet underwear companies. It's a small luxury I afforded myself, and I'm loving the new lifestyle. What's a small luxury you have and enjoy in your life?
I love
Well,
it.
I'm not going to bring up the thing. There'll be time to bring up the new thing in my life.
That is
Sure.
pinball.
Sure. Soldering iron.
You
Keyboards.
know, the thing we talked
The
about.
keyboards.
No, with the water.
That's yeah. Don't bring that up here. Somebody's paying for you to talk about that.
Yeah, but that.
Oh.
but I'm happy about it.
Good.
We'll get.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The little things. Yeah, I mean, you know,
The little things.
I think certain clothings do that. I feel like we don't appreciate that sort of stuff. We take it maybe not for granted, but we just don't appreciate how much like new socks, new underwear,
Yeah.
things like that your quality of life,
Yeah.
for a minimal investment, the return on that is so advantageous to your personal well-being.
You could spend a lot on underwear and socks.
You could.
You could.
You don't have to.
You don't
though.
have to.
You don't
You
have to.
You don't.
You don't-
You
you're
can get
gonna-
comfort for not that much money.
You're gonna love
You know-
the way you feel.
Yeah, you guarantee it. I feel like I've also replaced this is maybe isn't necessarily an affordable change, but like for the longest time I was like wearing glasses that were like bothering me in a dumb way, and I was like, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
Why am I just like living my life with glasses that are silly and ridiculous that bother me with this very specific piece of criticism? Got new glasses. My life's so much better now because I wear glasses all day.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is an important thing that you should take care of because it's I feel like that's a thing. Honestly, it really does come back to the keyboard argument because the keyboard you use so much, you don't realize it is such a necessary tool that you are constantly on. I'm on my keyboard, I feel like, as much as my phone. So
Yeah, sure. I'm definitely on my keyboard more than my phone, but yes.
we know that. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to go around advertising that.
I just want to.
We know.
I want to double.
right.
We know.
I love. I'm trying to look for one if I have it down here. I bought myself nice pencils.
Ooh.
When I do the crossword puzzle,
Did you get black wings?
I think maybe I did. I was looking for one. I'm
in that scene too. Don't worry about it.
They are black. They don't have erasers on the end.
Palominos? You get some palominos?
They're Japanese.
Okay.
They come in a little box that's like a plastic box.
They all do. Yep.
Oh, do they? Okay, I was looking for them down here because I kept them down here because they come in like a box. It was like it's like a freaking cigar box. You got to keep it in a humidifier of like, oh, I gave you one of these 2 weeks ago. Did you lose it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mark it down. Slide went out. They were the quality of pencil we were using from the kids' random pencils on the crossword puzzle and on the Sunday Times. It's printed on that magazine paper. It was scratchy and it wasn't good. And these are butter smooth. These are so nice, so nice.
I feel like I was in. I can't tell, because a couple years ago, this, Vinny. I was very much into like a pen.
You were a fountain pen guy.
Fountain pen guy, like nice pen guy, like get yourself a nice pen, one that really writes, for me, it was like the things you write felt like they were more important. You had to take more pride, more care, more effort and time, not time, but more effort. And, I can't tell if that was like an explosion that also happened too, where like there seemed to be an uptick in that kind of stuff. But can't go wrong with a nice pencil or pen.
This is it's actually Mitsubishi Hi Uni is the pencil I got.
Okay.
And I put a little eraser on the back of it. But yeah, when I looked up this Palominos, I was like, it's a really expensive pencil, and they're like oddly sold out. Speaking of things being sold out, so that was one. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Every once in a while, I will do the underwear sock refresh, and just say,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's time. Let's just go.
I feel like at least once a year, you need to take a long, hard look at your drawer and be like, does any of this need to go? Do I need to replace these?
Yeah. I bought myself the appropriate length of cables for my computer stuff.
Ooh.
Yes.
Sure.
So that, I bought myself the appropriate, or if not longer than I need, cables and cable clips, and spent the weekend just rearranging all the cables to have a nice cable thing. Spent a little money there. Yeah. Alex, you got anything that you're treating yourself with?
I mean, other than the really obvious, not small luxury of this drum set that I bought a few weeks
That's
ago.
right. Big luxuries.
Yeah, here and there. Like mine are less practical. Like I'm not, like you said, I do the occasional refresh of clothing stuff here and there, but I don't really indulge too deeply in that stuff. It's just sort of like, what seems nice and comfortable, and usually that ends up being right. So I'm fine with that. It's more just indulging little collections and other things. Like, I will occasionally decide it's like, now's a good time to buy some external hard drives. And then I will start reorganizing everything in my like organizational stuff, which I'm terrible at in like physical space, but love to do in digital space. I don't know what's wrong with my brain that way.
I don't know. I hate that.
Yeah, it's like I'm like everything in this room is a clutter fuck. But like on my computer, all I want to do is reorganize all my files. So I'll indulge in that stuff. And, like I occasionally will dip in on the physical media stuff, movies and things, what have you. Every time there's a Criterion sale, I'm like, ooh, 50% off. That's a good time to buy 8 movies. So, that's kind of where I like to indulge.
See, my question for you guys is, do you have like a store online? It's sort of like a branch off. Like, is there a place where you comfort buy? Where you're just like, you know what, I want to, because this question is more like treating yourself. But is there something, I'll take it a step further. Is there like a store or a place where you're just like, oh, I just want to get more of that thing I really like to make me feel
my
good.
Sephora. Like, what am I?
Yeah. What's your Sephora? Like,
Musician's friend is mine.
I don't know.
musician's okay.
Yeah, it's
get
musician's friend, and then when I'm buying
new
tech
heads?
stuff, I tend to just throw myself at Best Buy.
Oh, okay.
They usually have everything I'm looking for. Like that's the thing.
Sure.
And it's like it's not Amazon, so that's usual.
Yeah, I've got all those little toy stores I buy stuff from. Like,
yeah.
Like I'll be like, oh man, my
Yeah,
pre-order.
pull up the spot. Where you get them?
Yeah, where's that?
I'm not giving it away for free. Like you can go. You'll find it.
I didn't realize you didn't want to help support that small little outfit
they're
there.
not. Some of them are not small enough to get away with it.
To get the endorsement. All right.
Yeah. There's the one I like. There's Big Bad Toy Store. I get a lot of stuff from. But they're big. And so like when like this pre-order came in, like that's great. But there are a lot. I don't chase down the little stuff too much for like buying directly from Japan or imports from there.
Right.
But yeah, there's like specialty woodworking stuff. There's that Gramercy in Brooklyn has tools I'll get from them. Yeah, I don't know. That's a little more luxury. Sometimes that stuff can get expensive. So
without a doubt. I mean,
it's like boutique.
Wasn't advertising any of this is necessarily
Yeah.
affordable or cheap, but
yeah, that gets more than like an extra 5 foot on a USB cable.
I just feel like a lot of people have comfort stores, where they're just like,
like if you get the gift certificate and be like, I'll use this.
Yeah, but of course. Oh yeah, of course. You got me that? Sure.
Yeah.
My dad, it's like this car wash he really likes. My dad's upset. He's just like, yeah, car's always got to be clean. Love this.
I get this catalog from this place called Lee Valley, and it's one of these catalogs that comes in, because I bought stuff from there and I buy stuff from there, and they just send you the big old thick Sears book thing.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I'll sit and be like, ooh.
No, not the B&H catalog.
Not the B&H catalog. No,
telephone book.
No, not that. No. That stuff's too expensive. All right. Next email here. I'm going to read these. There's some rapid fire questions. So limber up. Ready? Get ready. Yeah. Here we go. Rapid fire. These are coming in anonymously. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You just answer like yes or no. Here we go. Change your own flat tire or call roadside service?
Call roadside service.
I'll change it.
Okay. All right. I like it. I think I'm
It's
on
not that I can't. It's that I don't want to.
It depends on I know it's a rapid fire. It also depends on the situation.
Yeah, if it's like an exploded tire, I'm not dealing with that.
All right. I think I would be on the change it if it's not dangerous. Listen to dot matrix printers or a dial-up modem connecting for 2 hours straight. I'm gonna go dot matrix printer.
Dot matrix.
Dot matrix.
Dot matrix, yeah. Picking up trash on the shoulder of a highway with the possibility of getting hit by traffic, or watching an all-day marathon of all Kardashian shows, including reruns for 1 week.
I'll watch the show.
I'm gonna do the trash because then I'm making a difference.
Look, you're doing trash either way. Okay.
You're doing
yeah,
trash.
but I'm doing trash that makes a difference. Damn it.
Okay. I still
Lastly,
want to die from it.
well, you gotta watch. You gotta make it a whole week.
You might die from watching television. Have
Yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
coronary on your couch. You don't know.
All-day marathons for a week. Having multiple people ask you if have you seen The Wire for 90 days straight, or stepping on a nail and possibly getting a tetanus shot.
I'll deal with The Wire, and
Yeah.
because I have an immediate response, it's like, yeah, but also you should be watching Homicide: Life on the Street instead
Nice.
because it's the better show.
For 90 days straight.
Yes, well, you could. I mean, there are like 7 seasons of it.
I don't know. This is a little scary to me as somebody who has not seen The Wire, so I think I feel for this one of like.
As someone who's already had that happen to me, I feel like.
have you seen The Wire?
Hey, I've seen The Wire, and I've also been asked if I've seen The Wire for 90 days straight. It was more like 3 years straight. Yeah, I'll still go with The Wire.
All
I'm gonna
right.
sip on it now.
This one's kind of for this one's related to something Bacalar talked about, but Alex, why don't you take this one? I think this is coming in from Eric. I'm sorry if I didn't put the right name here, but let's just take this. Eric, you might have wanted to remain anonymous on this one as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Eric says, your discussion on soldering reminded me of soldering in a middle school science program. When I was young, and still today, I would absentmindedly chew on things.
Oh, no.
Typically, things like pencils, soda can tabs, miscellaneous plastic, etc. I distinctly remember chewing on a solder wire. It was weirdly satisfying to chew pliable metal. I do not remember if it was lead-based solder. Am I going to die? This was probably 15 to 20 years ago. Do you ever have sudden memories that make you go, wow, that was really stupid? Am I a moron?
Oh man, that's don't do
Not great.
Don't do that.
That's not great.
You don't want to do that.
Don't.
Oh no.
I mean, I don't know all the science
Oh
there,
no.
but I want to say,
Yeah, like I don't know. I would imagine you're not ingesting an insane amount of lead. I would, because you still would need to, I guess, swallow it for it to be real bad.
I don't know. Lead absorbs into the blood pretty
Not through
in
yeah,
your,
again,
in your
like
mouth.
this-
I don't know. I don't know the
I don't
science.
know.
I don't want to
It's-
get myself in trouble. I would just say don't do
worse
that.
than the lead poisoning the entire boomer generation got from leaded
Leaded
gasoline
gas.
in the air. Yeah, like I feel like they probably
Could
still
it
got
not
it worse.
be? I don't know.
Well, what about like they say lead paint is bad enough, so maybe
It is.
right?
They're
That's
not
what I'm
just saying
saying.
That's
that.
over
that
an
is-
extended period.
And
Like
that-
if you're in the
Right,
room
right.
with it for a long time.
Well, also they say that because kids eat the chips from the lead paint that
Yes.
fall and the dust from lead paint.
Was that really the thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Yes. It is ingesting.
What, you never ate paint chips? Of course, everyone did.
It is
Oh, that's
ingesting.
why
It's
that's
ingesting
why-
the dust and the chips from the lead paint.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, a chip and a dust are two very different eating experiences. I want to say, but yes, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. So that's
you don't want any of it, is the thing.
I mean,
ooh.
if 15, 20 years ago,
15, 20 years ago, I would say if you're I don't know where you are, Eric. If you're in the EU, you probably might be safe because it might have been not lead-based solder. If you're in the States, oh boy.
We love our
not
lead.
good. I'm gonna say it's not good, but I also am gonna say that if it's like maybe a one-time thing, you had a one-time affair with chewing a bit of lead.
I'm gonna say this is in school. It's in middle school science program. Somebody needs to come around and be like, "Yo, no, take that. Do not get that out of your mouth."
Well, that's
Bobby,
why I think
stop
this person might be
chewing.
in the U.S. because of if it's an American class size, then they may not have even fucking noticed. There's like 50 kids in that class.
It's
Teacher's
bad.
been chewing on the solder for a
It's just
while.
making me uncomfortable, to be quite honest, because I do sympathize with with the fact that solder wire is like fun it's soft in a very fun way.
I know. Yes, but not for your mouth.
I'm not putting it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All
That's
right.
a bit of a yikes.
Do I have
but
yes,
hey,
there were plenty
you
of
know.
things when I was a kid that I am like, boy, I'm really glad I made it through adolescence.
Yeah, like what? What'd you do?
Oh, jumping bikes off of like cliffs, like, scaling stuff that's like, wow, if you fell, you'd be dead. making it through dangerous places in the environment as a kid that you're like, that could have gone sideways in 101 different ways, but you slipped and you caught the thing and didn't, all of that stuff. Using tools, playing with things you're not supposed to play with, sharp things, explodey things.
Surviving your pyro affair.
There was a point where we were lighting firecrackers and throwing them at each other. Like that's light the M80 in your hand and then throw it. Like that's it was bad. Putting gasoline in the super soaker and then is this a flamethrower? Look at this. Look at what we
That's
made.
a bit extreme.
That's a way to melt a super soaker pretty quick.
That's what happened to the super soaker, and then you drop it, and then there's gasoline with fire on it on the ground in a canister.
It's so brain dead. Wait a second.
No, I love it conceptually, but that is the one you say, oh, that's forbidden. We never act on this.
Because I mean, look,
it's real cool for 30, let's say for 5 seconds.
35-year-old, yeah. no, like there was a thing with like the WD-40 where you can make a blowtorch out of that, and that was a lot. You didn't have to, I mean, it could blow up the can, and that would be very bad too. But the super soaker just seems dumb on a level that I'm surprised by.
So what happened was it wound up actually lighting a little bit of the patch of the ground on fire. Because it's gasoline, and then you might want to try to stomp that out. So let's say you jump in there while you're wearing your shorts, and that's also not smart.
Oh damn!
I'm really happy to be older now. Like and I tell my wife sometimes, and she's like, I'll be like, not that stuff necessarily, but I'll be like, hey, somebody watching the kids? I'm like, oh, who cares? Like, they're just outside. I'm like, what did you do when you were a kid? I sat on the steps and read books. Like, okay, I'm gonna go check on the kids.
Yeah. When I was in camp, we would do the tennis ball thing. I just saw someone in the chat. The flaming tennis ball.
Oh yeah. We've all tried that at least.
Because everyone
once.
was obsessed with Zippos when I was in summer camp, and this is like the early 90s, so like they sell anyone a can of lighter fluid.
And shaving cream at the time.
It was like fine. Like I was like, let me get some lighter fluid and some condoms, razors. Thanks. Here you go. Here, keep the change.
Here you go.
You just douse the tennis ball in that Zippo lighter fluid, and
then you can play. Then you can play asses
presumably they went out, but I don't.
I mean, it's still flaming to this day.
Science, you learn a lot.
That's what it is. You're just curious, pre-scientist.
Just curious how things burn.
Yeah, right. Turns out very quickly.
Yes, and dangerously. Don't chew on solder.
No. Avoid lead.
Back, why don't you read this one from Kyle?
Sure. Hey guys, just curious, is there any difference between an icy and a slushy? My wife says the icy is more icy and the slushy is more liquidy. You should have said the slushy is more slushy.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I feel like they're the same exact thing.
I think they're kind of the same thing.
Slushy to me is the thing you got from 7-Eleven, right? And the thing, and the icy. Is icy
more
not
like a snow cone?
Yeah,
sort of thing?
yeah.
No,
like,
but that
like
icy is not a snow cone.
No,
that icy is not a snow cone. I don't think. A snow cone is its own distinct construction. But I would say if you had to determine a difference, my guess would be that the icy is a little bit harder ice than the slushy, but it's probably still pretty slushy.
Like in my mind, it's more snow cone. It's like more you eat it, and the slushy is more you slurp it. What do you call the like, what do they call otter pops? The good pop, the like ice pop things in the plastic that you snip the top off thing. Did you not call those? Those were not called ices?
No, those were just like, they were. You mean the rainbow colored ones?
Yeah, they come in like this pack. They're all like, and you bite the top off
like
with your teeth.
Sugar water.
Yeah,
frozen sugar water. Yeah. I don't know.
And then there's Italian ice, which is the little cup with the little paddle. You paddle get the little paddle. And
hey, Mario.
Yeah, we a big mustache on it.
Yeah,
some sort of vessel for your lemon concoction there. What can we put in this thing? I got a bunch of wood.
Yeah.
Chop them up.
No, it wasn't Mario. It was like, Frank, how do we make this thing more exotic? I don't know what Italian it is. Just put wood in there. All right. Not plastic then.
Cut it into something resembling a spoon.
A little paddle. It's probably the leftover cutout, the negative space from something else, and somebody's like, "What do I got a million of these little things when we cut the soup bowls or whatever. I got a million of these little things. You could probably eat ice cream with that. You could probably sell that to a kid and eat ice cream with those. Done. Cover them in solder. They'll love it. I
am pretty precious about a very specific lemon ice spot in Corona, Queens.
Ooh.
Are you familiar, Alex?
I don't live near Corona, but I've had lemon ice in the general Queensboro. So yeah, I mean, lemon ice is good as hell.
My folks got married in Corona.
The lemon ice king of Corona.
King of Corona. Yeah.
That it's unfortunate. Maybe they want to work on that title now.
They're an institution. They've been there for like 100 years or something.
So is coronavirus at this point. It didn't take long, but it is now an institution.
Oh man,
they got to rename everything, man. They got to rename all that shit.
I guess so.
The beer, the town of Corona in Southern California, all that stuff.
All of Queens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got one more here.
One more here.
We got one more here. Who wants this one? Let's see. I'm gonna say, Alex, why don't you take this one from Burton?
Okay. Burton says, in a few weeks, I'll be hitting my 1-year mark where I've worked from home because of COVID. At this point, I'm fairly confident I'll be able to pivot into a permanent work from home role. As a result, my wife and I are looking at buying a house that's not within a daily commuting range of my office. Turns out homes are way cheaper when they aren't near a big metro area. My question is, if you had the opportunity to find a new place to live that did not require you commuting to an office, what would be your checklist of things a city would need in order to move there? My wife and I don't have kids, so our list might be a bit different than Jeff and Vinny's.
Oh man, just go find space somewhere and live there. Poof. All right, I'm gonna say
it's more complicated than that.
So, can we remove some complications for the sake of this thought experiment? Can we remove being close to family?
Yeah,
let's just say yes.
Do that?
Okay, so we're gonna remove being close to family. I'm thinking like I get a place where I don't see another human being until I want to. I get a place where I can walk outside and just scream, be naked and just scream. Nobody but God cares. God just
your
shut up.
family's still there. They still have to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that's appealing to some people, but there is something also a bit terrifying of like not being close to anyone or anything.
Okay, yeah, and then it's also walking distance to a movie theater. I don't know, but no, I wanna. Sometimes I frame my house when I'm looking out my window. I'm in suburbs. I am close to my neighbors. Sometimes I'll look out my window and try and frame my view so that I can't see my neighbor's house in a way that's like, all alone. Not that I don't like my neighbors, but like, look at this beautiful day outside. Because
I hear you.
Go
to Maine.
No, I don't know. I once looked up a house in Maine that was on an island when I was doing my fantasy buying thing of like, you could buy a place on an island. It's only $17.2 million. Look at this, Jess. Wow. It's amazing.
How are the schools?
It's got a house on the inside of it. I don't know. But that being said, I love New York City. I love New York City. I think my ideal is buy a house somewhere in the sticks or something, and have a small like 1-bedroom apartment or studio apartment in New York City. So
okay, sure, yeah, we all have that.
Your vacation apartment.
Yeah,
this is a fantasy. Hey, listen,
it is a fantasy.
It's a fantasy. Like, hey, you can.
Is that what the question asks? Are we living in fantasy world?
Because the real world sucks shit. So let's enjoy the fantasy.
It's not going to be in Midtown. It's going to be in like.
I think you can do that, especially near New York. Like you can be as long as you're an hour away. That's like my threshold. Like I don't want to be further away than an hour away from the city. You can get that. You can get that place.
You can get that place. Well, an hour away driving or an hour away on a train or something.
Figure it out.
Okay.
It's a fantasy, right?
So Connecticut.
Yeah. Or, I mean, you could do it in southern New York. You could do it in northwestern New Jersey. Like,
How about
do it.
international? Would you any of you like move
Italy.
to? Yeah,
I think so, man.
just get a little villa.
Italy. I think about Italy more than any other country.
Why?
Just because when I was there in 2016, it was a very it was a very like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say gluttonous, but it was a very like
hedonistic, like you just went
kind
all
of
out.
vacation.
Yeah.
But I love that place in a way that I've never been to another country where I'm like, that's the first place I want to go back to for sure.
The two places I can say that about that I've been to were Kyoto and Prague.
Ooh.
Those were two cities that I ended up like. I knew I was going to like them, but I ended up loving them the time I was there. But the odds of me moving to a foreign country anytime soon are not very high.
I want to go to Japan too.
Yeah,
Denmark.
Norway. I don't know, fucking the wilds of Canada. I don't know, but. I will say the one thing that maybe is my main contingency for all of this is that New York has completely spoiled me on food. Not that there are not other great food cities in America. There are plenty of them. But the sheer variety here in terms of just like immigrant cultures and the way they're all kind of mashed together in different neighborhoods and the food that produces is unbelievable. And so I think my only real this is a must wherever I go is that there needs to be at least a little bit of an immigrant food culture wherever I go. There needs to be some variety. It can't just be a town that's like, yeah, we've got foreign food. We've got one Chinese restaurant. It's like, no, that's not enough. That's not on its own. That is not enough.
So they just moved to Kyoto. And then,
I mean, I had maybe some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life in Kyoto. So they actually do have, I think, a pretty diverse food culture there.
To answer this question maybe a little bit more focused and specifically, I think for me, I would need like good parks kind of situation.
Sure.
For me, I just always like to go to a park to just kind of unwind and have a public space, or like during the pandemic, I went on like dozens of hikes, and I just found that to be so enjoyable. It's so simple yet enjoyable. I don't know why.
No, it's because it's enjoyable. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
like California is, or at least specifically the San Francisco Bay Area, has a lot of.
I know Californians can't stop talking about fucking hiking. I get
it. They for a lot of things there, they take care. They had been, I don't know what the state of it is, had been taking care of their green spaces pretty well.
Yeah. I will say I am very impressed with New Jersey's parks where we are, Vinny, or maybe further out where I am.
Sure.
And like for me, what I wanted was like a main drag. Like I wanted a main street.
Yeah, main strip.
I wanted like a main strip.
Yeah.
And where I am, I'm a mile away from that.
Yeah.
And I have
a walkable one. It's where the kids taekwondo is. It's where all the stuff is. It's like, hey, it's where the local shop, hardware shop is. I like the local shops. I don't want to, and this is a problem if I move out somewhere probably, isolated. I'll probably wind up at a strip mall, right? For stuff at some point. I haven't been to a mall in a long time, and I live in New Jersey. And that's kind of nice. I think I don't like hot weather. So I'm like, I always think so
I would much rather be mired in cold weather than have to exist in any kind of desert weather.
Like I'll exist in gloomy, damp weather. I'll suffer that more than I'll suffer like hot, humid, like Florida, Georgia weather.
Yes.
I'll take a Northern Europe versus like, Southeast Asia probably, just because it's like, I just think I don't have the body. My body type is just like, I'm sweating constantly.
And it blows my mind like that, man.
It's quite literally the only thing that would keep me from living in New Orleans, one of my favorite cities in the world, is just the summers there. I could not handle it. They're
insufferable. It's a level of.
I have done it. I've lived in Virginia, which is not as bad even as like Louisiana and the southern states, but like for those summers, man, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
I'd rather be in Las Vegas in August than Florida. Well, anytime of the year.
Oh, I don't know,
dude.
I'd rather be damp than it's not specifically the desert. You're right in general, the dry heat, but no, Vegas in particular.
Well, yes.
The sheer concrete nothingness
I'm
of
not talking about being in the middle of the strip. There's parts of Vegas that are not casinos.
There's no part of Vegas that does not smell faintly of cigarette smoke wherever you go.
I'm saying like, man, when I go down there in the winter to Florida, even you get a day where it's like, you get a day where it's 70 and then you get a day where it's like 93 and it's crazy to me that people are like, yeah, I did it. I got here and not a square centimeter of my skin is not dripping wet. It is mind blowing to me.
So I've only been to Japan in the summer for TGS and stuff like that. Are there parts of Japan that get a little more, that don't get that really rough, humid summer? I mean, I know Japan is mountainous and has cooler places, but I
think it's kind of hot everywhere, but I think
Okay.
like the most northern part of the country maybe doesn't get it quite as bad. I don't know. I haven't been there. The only places I've been are Tokyo and Kyoto. And like that was at the very end of summer. That was like beginning of September. And
they got a humid summer.
The first couple of days were that, and then after that, it got very temperate and nice. So I got to experience a little bit of the, oh, this sucks, and the, oh, this is actually very nice.
I think I've told this story before, but we had these crates full of all of our camera gear that came off the plane, and somebody opened them up outside while we were to check everything while we were waiting for TGS, while we were waiting for our cab or whatever. And opened it up, and you saw cold air just escape, and everything immediately got drenched. Everything was just wet immediately, and we're like, I don't know. I forget what you're supposed to do here. Don't close it or close. Now all these lenses are
just get towels. Just get towels.
Like, because you don't want the inside of the lens to get fogged up, because then it's bad news. Like, I don't forget what the thing is. Like, let them dry out or don't let them dry out. Just throw it away. Just forget this ever happened. The airplane lost it. Anyway, that's gonna do it. I want to say Jersey's now subtropical. Didn't that happen? I think they got reclassified.
After this winter.
It's nice out today.
I'm telling you, I think we're due for one more snowstorm. You think this on literally nothing.
I don't, but I wouldn't doubt. I'm not disbelieving, again. But yeah. I don't think it's going to be another snowstorm.
I hope not another snowstorm. We're
getting dumped on in like Colorado now.
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean they got snow there.
I have to.
That's your weather report for for this Thursday. March
We've been
11th.
We're marking. I feel like we're probably marking. Alex, when did we leave the office? Do you know?
I was actually going to bring that up. Today's a year.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, my last day is this week, Wednesday.
Okay, congratulations.
Wednesday was my last day.
Because next week is 52 weeks since I started doing the drum streams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Can we just talk about that day real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I remember turning to Mark and Nick, saying to them, and I'm not trying to be, I don't know what, but I said, I don't think we will be back here for a year.
Wow, good for you. You knew it.
And not only was I wrong, because we will never be back there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So some circumstances changed.
Yeah, the kicker is that I was wrong. Right?
Well,
Like,
no, you were right.
You thought you would be wrong.
You will not be back there for a year, and also
or ever.
Yeah.
And the following year, and the year after that. But the wildest thing is the fact that and a lot of people have moved away. To me, it's like the fact that I haven't seen you guys obviously since that day, right? Have I seen each other
in person? I've seen Alex the time we did the clean out the office thing. Backlog. I've closed the drop off at your place, and maybe I'll see you then.
Yeah.
At some point, once I'm vaccinated, I need to come tune your drums, Vinny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not a euphemism. Literally, I need to tune his drums.
Man, I got to get these shots. And not like Nick, our producer Nick, who moved out west. I don't know next time I'm going to see that guy. And that was the day. I remember, and I'm joking. It was like, too bad I'll never see you guys again. Like a joke,
Aw, it's a small world. You'll see people again.
I see them, but I want to give hugs. I want to.
Well, it was the reason I remembered is my son's birthday is at the end of March, and he had a kids party that we reserved like a go-kart thing for.
Yep.
And it's coming up again and being like,
I know.
oh, here we go. We have this standing reservation there that we have to, postpone. I think we postponed it. At first, it was like, we'll give it 3 months. And then it was like, okay, we'll give it another 4 months.
Yep.
And then now it's like, all right, we'll just, I don't think we can cancel it. So we just keep kicking it down the line. So
You'll get it back one day if there's still business.
we'll go karting. But here's the fun part. Now his sister is almost old enough to drive the cart on her own.
That's
So,
when's Max's birthday?
28th.
20. Yeah. So he and I, that end of March people,
Mm-hmm.
we were one of the first to get doubling up on COVID birthdays.
That's right. You got to make good.
Which,
Well,
let me
that's
tell you,
everybody though.
Sooner or later, but like, I don't know if your birthday was last week, you might have got like my brother's birthday was the
Squeezed
8th.
in.
So we had a dinner.
So so then you had a COVID spreader party before everybody was aware that they had COVID.
Exactly. That was the joke.
Right.
And then mine is the 24th. And in between that, no bueno.
No good.
So
No good. Yeah. The kids who missed the parties, that whole industry must just be.
Because these is early April too, and it's like it sucks, man.
Yeah. But hey, it's good to see you guys. Good to see you in the audience. Hope everybody's doing well out there.
Yeah.
I heard somebody of authority on some things say, you know what? In terms of the virus in the United States, we might be on the getting better side than the getting worse side.
It does seem like it.
So I hope that's true, at least here in the United States, and I hope that is the case. But that is going to do it for this show. I'm going to start playing the music now. I hope when this is all said and done, we look back and be like, boy, remember that we're wearing those masks, huh? That was a weird time.
Instead I still have one. You want to see it?
Yeah, instead of like, oh no, we buy those every year. Alex Navarro, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You drumming today?
I am. 6 o'clock as usual.
Fantastic. Go catch that. Jeff Backlard, thank you very much.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna get those kids' clothes dropped off and run away from your house pretty soon. Thanks everybody for listening out there. We got quick looks up of a bunch of stuff. You can go check out Loop Hero. You can go check out Harvest Moon, One World. You can go check out Maquette. That's all up on the site. Maquette. That's all up on the site. There might be some other stuff that I missed. You got a Valheim stream happened yesterday with one Abby Russell. You can go check that out. And of course, the Hotspot and the Bombcast. That's going to do it for this week's show. I will be out next week. I think I'm going to be out next week. Possible I'll be out next week. So happy birthday, everybody. And I'll see you when I come back. Good luck, Alex and Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening. And you can catch the Beastcasts next week.